just don't hit like they used to. I watched Mufasa a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, that was the last straw. And it really got me thinking that movies have really lost their touch over the years. I remember when movies used to be an experience. When I went to go to the movie theater, I really wanted to go in there to get away from reality, to go and see an awe-inspiring story. Nowadays, movies are rushed and they are just straight up cash grabs. So let's dive into the reasons as to why movies and TV shows have lost their touch over the years. Starting off with money-hungry production studios. There's no doubt that the film industry is a lucrative one. Movies make millions every year, and these production companies know that, and sometimes that money can lead to greed. There comes an issue where these production companies are focused solely on making money. When that is being prioritized, unfortunately, the artistic aspects of filmmaking starts to be neglected.
Have you ever left the movie theaters like genuinely irritated that you spent your money watching such a stupid movie? I have been watching a lot of movies recently, like by myself, and nothing has been as bad as this movie. I just finished watching Heretic. I do not know how Rotten Tomato critics have given it a 92%. You are lying. You're lying. That movie sucked.
Introducing the cash grab. These are movies that are made for the sole intention of making a quick profit. And they usually come in sequels. So for example, you have Mufasa, Gladiator 2, Joker 2. These films did not do so well. They know that people will flock to the theater just because it's from a big name. They love the original work, so of course they want to see the sequels. But sequels are notorious for being bad. I only like sequels if they are for the intention of continuing the story and giving the fans what they want. Actually doing it justice and continuing a good story. But most of the times, they're just cash grabs just to get a quick buck.
Some movies are dreamed up by artists who seek out investors to make the dream happen so that they can make money and everybody wins. Some movies work backwards. They are cooked up by executives for the sole purpose of selling theme park tickets and toys, and they hire artists to make the dream a reality. Their dream of money. Ethan Hawke famously put it best: there are movies that people put their hearts into, and there are movies that people try to cash in on.
Cash grabs also exist with original character stories. Marvel is notorious for this because they have original stories like Madam Web, Ant-Man, and Captain Marvel. They are not as good as we expected them to be, but a lot of the fans did actually go and watch it just because they may be fans of the comic book and they know, hey, it's a Marvel movie, it should be good. We've gotten used to Marvel. They have a reputation, or had a reputation, of putting out good movies. Marvel knows that. They know their consumers. They know that we will kind of pick up whatever that they give us. So they play into that and they do whatever the heck they want to do with the characters. People have gotten so used to watching Marvel films, it's like a culture now. I remember back in the days, in the summertime especially, when you knew that Avengers was coming out, we're definitely flocking to movie theaters. Spider-Man coming out, we're going to movie theaters. Now, I'm not even excited to watch Marvel films anymore. Because they've just taken away the fun out of it. I think a lot of that has to do with Marvel prioritizing money, of course.
The quality of Marvel has absolutely dropped. The maturity, the seriousness, the grounded stories, they have absolutely dropped. In 2009, Disney bought Marvel. In 2008, this was our Incredible Hulk. This is no coincidence. The next Hulk project, Edna wasn't there, Serious Hulk wasn't there, and now we're seeing the results of it. For me, the introduction of Tom Holland really showed us the route Disney were going to take with Marvel. They made him so unserious, so kiddish, not mature at all, and had no grounded movies with him.
It's all a business, you know? And sometimes I feel like these directors are more so businessmen than they are directors. Martin Scorsese said it the best. Movies are bad now. Not all of them, but plenty, because investors have nearly perfected the art of making money off them. And I'll add that making money off of movies really does stem from perfecting marketing, which leads me into my next point. Let's talk about the movie press tours. Movie press and marketing have become bigger than ever before. I remember back in the days when we would get just a little trailer on YouTube. There was a bit of mystery around the new releases that were coming out, which kind of helped to build up that suspense. Now the cast of movies go virtually everywhere. You see them on a bunch of different YouTube channels doing this thing. You got them doing an activity over here on this channel. You got them on TikTok. You got them on Instagram. You got them on Twitter. And it's like, I'm being overwhelmed by all the marketing that's going on. I do try to stay away from the movie press tours just because it builds up a lot of false hope and hype around a movie, and I want the trailer to do that for me. Buying into the hype makes the letdown even worse, which is why we have that feeling that movies are not as entertaining as they once were. Rushed movies because of streaming services. You can tell when a movie or show is rushed when someone just dies for the heck of it. There is no build up to things, and it feels like the hero just kind of got to their end goal really quickly. That's a rushed film. Streaming services have definitely taken over, so unfortunately, the production companies have to meet that demand. We are used to having a bunch of content to choose from. They want to build up their library. So when the directors actually don't have time to perfect their craft to make the movie as good as it can be, unfortunately, we just get a bunch of rushed things. For me, when films and shows are rushed, it's almost like it's empty. It's soulless. And you can really feel that.
I think the biggest factor in them losing this audience is the humor in this movie in particular, and the movies like Thor: Love and Thunder. It's just way too goofy for this age range to care about it. The second problem is other franchises and the MCU are just pumping out so much content nowadays that people don't even want to keep up anymore because it just feels like doing homework instead of watching a movie. Third is the MCU seems to be getting way more family friendly. Like, obviously every kid can watch any MCU movie. It's not like there's anything terrible in it, but they just seem to be getting way geared towards younger kids now.
When a director takes their time and they perfect their craft, that's where we have the most impact. That's where we see these beautiful stories come to life. How would you expect me to make an inspiring story in a couple of months? It's hard to invoke feelings from the audience if they're rushed through every scene at breakneck speeds. I'm going to talk about Acolyte a little bit. If you haven't seen it, then good. And it's one of the shows that lacks character development, good dialogue, and the pacing is awful. So bad, in fact, that it didn't get renewed for a second season. Remakes Are Us. We are in the era of remakes. Disney, of course, is the one that is doing a lot of these remakes, a lot of the CGI live action remakes, and now DreamWorks is going to be doing that as well. As we see, they are going to release How to Train a Dragon soon. And I don't know about you, but I don't really need to see the same movie twice. If I wanted to see them again, I will just go on Disney Plus and find that film. I like the animated versions. I don't like the live action versions. I say leave the animated films in their original form. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. I wanted to watch them only because I wanted to see if they were going to do the animated film justice or if they were going to do anything new or add something new. But most of the time it's just complete copy and paste. Live actions can be good if they invoke feelings from us, if they give us more of an updated kind of feel to the movie, if they make it more grander, more dramatic. Most of the time it's just some awkward CGI where some lines are going, I always wanted a brother. My brother. We've been asking for something new, and I feel like The Wild Robot is a good example of that. That was like a breath of fresh air for me. I loved seeing such a new story, and it really looks like they took their time with this film, and that's all I'm asking. Nowadays, for the audience member to ask for a director to take their time is like an act of God. Production companies these days are not taking risks, and the thing is, when it comes to business, taking risks are almost like it just comes with business. In order for you to maximize your profits and to get good profits, sometimes you have to take risks. And a lot of the production companies are just taking things safe. They just want to guarantee a profit at least. You gotta take creative risks. I can respect when a show ends in a tragedy or when they completely do something different than what I thought they were going to do. I can respect when movies kind of push their limitations, use new technology, like with motion capture in Avatar, or if they dive into a long series of books through Lord of the Rings, or even if they make it into a musical. Okay, let's not do that. Taking risks means they might lose money, but taking a risk creatively can really make it more grander, make it great, and the money will follow. This is what I think Game of Thrones does so well. They took creative risks. There were times where I sat and watched that show and I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do what I think they're gonna do. And then they actually do it. They had the balls to go and do it. There's something great about getting a surprise, and these days I'm not surprised, I'm not entertained. Are you not entertained? Appealing to the masses instead of the fans. Marvel and DC, I'm talking about you. I don't like when movies or shows are direct copy and paste, but you gotta kind of follow some of the lore. Marvel and DC have this thing where they're actually given the source material, the answers of how to please their fan base is right there. Instead of trying to follow the lore, they write in their completely own different story. I'm not saying that filmmakers can't make different takes on their characters. That's fine, but you have to do it right. In some cases, when done right, this can be very refreshing to see. An example would be Miles Morales for Spider-Man. That's a different adaptation of Peter Parker. He's Miles Morales, still Spider-Man in the Spideyverse, but we're getting a little bit of a different story, a different perspective. So I kind of like that. It's apparent that some filmmakers just don't do their research on the source material. The biggest example would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I swear there must be some sort of curse that somebody put on Avatar: The Last Airbender. With every single rendition, every single remake that they've done so far has been garbage. They had deviated from the source material, they left out humor, they changed some of the characters' personalities, and sometimes I just felt like I was watching the same character just in different costumes. In all, TV and film are lacking their charm in today's time. It's a competition of who can bring in the most money with cash grabs and remakes. Some filmmakers are not offering us new concepts and storylines. They also stray away from the source material to appeal to the masses, which leads to a disappointed fan base. I do hope that this industry can turn around. Bring back movies that truly take us out of reality and bring us an experience. That's it for this video. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. What do you think is the reason as to why some of these movies and shows have lost their touch over the years? Also, what is the best and the worst TV show or film that you have seen? Leave a comment down below and I'll reply. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It does help me out a lot. And also consider subscribing to the channel so you guys never miss a beat on when I post. Have a good one and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!